Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Battle of the Bangers. I am your host. My name is Tyler, and of course, I am joined by the boys. We've got Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle, who's making a really weird face that's making me uncomfortable.
It's because, gosh, man, it's as uncomfortable as this matchup makes me. What are we going to decide in this episode? Holy cow.
Yeah, it's an interesting one today. Let's take a look at the bracket. And you will see our two previous winners, We Own the Night and Inspire the Liars, moving on to the semifinals. And on this side of the bracket, we have two more preliminary matches we have to get through. And today's will be Death of a Strawberry versus Son of Robot, which is quite the interesting matchup for sure. And just to reiterate, these songs were selected based on the popularity on Spotify, based on streams. So these were not randomly selected. They were selected based on Spotify's algorithm or data or whatever you want to say. So, yeah, we are left with these songs, and man, I don't even really know where to begin with this one. Both of these songs are not songs I would have expected to be up this high on the streaming count, if I'm being perfectly honest. I enjoy both of these songs. I enjoy one a lot more than I enjoy one of the other ones. But even with that being said, I don't know which one is going to move on. So we got to make that decision right now. I want to start by talking about Death of a Strawberry. We're going to start with you, Brennan. Death of a Strawberry. Tell the folks why it's good.
It's good because it's a little bit of a different twist the DGD puts out there. You know, a lot of their stuff is really high energy. A lot of their stuff is very, like, intricate guitar work, like throughout a piece. A lot of their stuff is, like, massive transitions. Death of a Strawberry is different in the fact that it's kind of slower paced, you know, very, like, more ambient guitar work in the background. This is the song that, like I said in the last episode, you know, Instant Gratification is kind of the Tillian show. Like, this song, like, personifies that. Because a lot of it is him, like, you know, pushing his envelope, like, further than he did with the acceptance speech. You know, hitting different notes. You know, like I said, the guitar is more, like, complimentary. Granted, it does switch up a bit. Like, when John Mess comes in, like, everything kind of picks up for a bit. But for the most part, this song is, like, extremely chill, extremely, you know, I wouldn't say tame, but like more like mild compared to other DGD experiences. Now, there is a part towards the end that it really picks up, and John Mess kind of like takes over the show, and it's more like chuggy and like in your face and stuff. But this song is like the chill track of Instant Grat, and I mean, it's just like, for me, from start to finish, it is just an absolute treat because it's different. Everything complements each other very well, and to me, it's just a very solid track. So.
I agree. Kyle, I know you don't listen to this song as much as we do, so I'm interested to hear your opinions on this one.
Yeah, I don't really listen to either of these songs a ton. If I was looking at this list of 8 and I went, man, that's weird that's on there, it would be both of these two songs in this matchup. I was like, whoa, all right, I'm down. Because both these songs are really good. When I look at Death of the Strawberry specifically, I think the thing that you said, Brennan, that kind of like stands out to me when I listen to the song is like how like it almost feels like the instrumentals of the song are complimentary to him more than it being like a shared thing. Like, I feel like, especially even like in the chorus in the first half of the song, like it's literally like very this open moments for Tillian to sing, and then like the guitar comes in like the second time, but like it's doing one thing, you know? Like, it's like they're never doing like their own melody. It's just them doing like really nice things around Tillian, even giving him full like spaces of time to sing. And it overall, I think it's pretty chill. It definitely doesn't go like a bunch of crazy places like other songs do that we love by Dance Gavin Dance. But I feel like what it is doing is really good. It's really well done. I think it's like you said, it's kind of like a nice departure kind of from like what we're looking for. It is one of the times that they kind of try something a little different, and they nail it. And nail it so much that it's our third seed, I believe. I think it's the third seed?
Yeah, it's third seed.
Hot damn, that's a high number.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's deserving to be on this list. The more I'm like thinking about it, listening to it, like prepping for this, it's deserving to be here. I'm kind of down for it. Might have to check it out a little bit more after this than I was prior. So yeah,
I'd
I dig the
encourage
song.
that. I've always been a really big fan of this song. Like Brennan said, I think the appeal of it really is that it's a lot more. I don't want to say stripped down because there are still like unclean breaks in it and stuff like that, but it really is more of a laid back song as opposed to their general sound. But they just do such a good job in executing it and really just putting Tillian in the spotlight where you can just sit and just let his voice serenade you and just you lay in it and just let his serenade marinade your body, and you just it's a good time, and you come out of it just feeling clean and fresh and happy. And especially back when I first started getting into DGD and getting into like the swancore genre and stuff, when I wasn't as big on uncleans as much, I listened to this song a lot because it was like the one track on the album where John Mess took like a huge back seat and I could just sit and like listen to Tillian. Obviously nowadays I like all of it, so I don't really care. But I am kind of shocked that it is like the third most streamed DGD song on Spotify. That's kind of wild to me. I like the song, but I didn't realize it was that popular. Whereas this other track that it's up against today, Son of Robot, is a song that I feel like is like kind of over popular. So Brendan, do you wanna talk about Son of Robot for a bit? What do you think about this song?
So where Death of a Strawberry kind of takes like, like the backseat approach where it kind of like separates itself from the album or even from other like DGD work entirely, Son of Robot is them like leaning into it, like the other side of the spectrum. And I don't want to say that Dance Gavin Dance has necessarily like a formula or like that they, make stuff kind of cookie cutter, but I feel like this song, like Midnight Crusade, not as much, but this song more so, was them like kind of finding their groove. And it's a groove that they go back to, like they go back to this wall a lot, especially in Artificial Selection and Afterburner, it seems like sometimes. But this song is very high energy from the start to the finish. And it's really accented well by like really insane instrumentals once again, albeit other tracks like supersede it in this album, in, other DGD works. But to me, it kind of like starts off really quick, high energy, dips down sometimes, let Tillian do his thing, but then immediately gets right back to it when John Mess steps back in the fray. So, I mean, it's a really good track. I think it's almost deserving of 20 million plus streams, but to me, other tracks in it deserve it a little bit more. But it is a good track. It's not a bad song.
Yeah. Kyle, where are you at?
See, I recall rather, that when I first listened to this album, I thought pretty highly of this song, with it being a single and, listening to it in the context of the album. I remember liking it a lot. And I feel like I kind of fell off of it, except for like a couple songs in this album. I don't really come back to a lot of songs on this album as often as some others. Listening again though, like leading up to this, I was reminded why I was so fond of this song. Something that I feel like, to kind of go off of you, Brennan, a bit, I feel like one of the things they do really well in this is like they kind of find their groove, like you're saying. Something that's really awesome about the song is that they kind of take like this one like guitar like motif and they keep on like doing a variation of it like in so many different parts. And like they do what you say, like Brennan, like with like the kind of like they have like a formula almost. Granted, that formula is we're gonna fucking take this everywhere, and then they just do it in different ways every time that they do that formula. So it never really feels like oh man, they do the one thing. They do it like in such weird different ways. I mean, have you seen Calientamo Global or whatever? How you say it?
Calientamiento Global or something like that.
Yeah, whatever that one is. I mean, that was like a fucking random ass one in there, and it fucking slaps. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Son of Robot, that little like riff that they like continuously go around on, like at the beginning it starts as like its own like secluded thing, like they really give it its moment to like literally almost nothing else is happening other than this little guitar riff at the beginning, and it builds it up throughout like the chorus and even like the bridge. It is just doing like its own thing, kind of building, and like how I was saying before that it's like its own thing. It's more of a harmony than melody. Here, it's its own strong piece. Like this instrumental is kind of going back and forth with Tilly and with John throughout this whole song. And that's what I come to DGD for, is whenever they like take so many different parts of like the normal band and they give them all like high priority almost. Like so many bands are just willing to be like, all right, lead vocalist, you go. Everyone else is going to accompany you. And then there's a guitar solo where the guitar gets to be cool. And then it goes back to the singer, you know, like that's like, I feel like the formula, you know, when you talk about the broader spectrum of music. With this and DGD in general, they do such a great job at just bouncing it back and forth. You know, like everyone gets their moment. Everyone gets like this high priority, like I was saying. It's just so well done in this song, I feel like, especially as an album opener. I feel like the fact that it kind of goes from like this kind of like quieter place, building it up, taking it different places is a really great way to start where your album is about to also take you a bunch of different places. It's like kind of like a smaller version of what this album's about to be. Is it like as awesome and as grand as some of the songs of this album? No, I don't think so. But I think that like it's kind of similar to Prisoner, but like the song I think is better than Prisoner. It does such a good job to prep you for what's to come, and it does it by writing a fucking fantastic piece of music. I love it a lot. Yeah, I'm super down to say, I mean, I don't know if we're like hitting time or not, but I feel like my vote's actually gonna go Son of Robot.
Okay. I mean, I didn't get to talk about the song or anything.
No, but
that's
I mean, you can talk about it, but like,
jumping the gun a touch. But
yeah,
no, I mean, I think Son of Robot, like, I definitely don't listen to it that much, and I'm always kind of in the boat of like when they play it live, I'm like slightly disappointed because there's just better songs that I wish they were playing. But like upon re-listening to it today, I mean, there is a lot of good stuff that is in that song. You know, I think the main draw of it is just like the dichotomy between having this really light sounding feel with like Tillian stuff and then switching between that and just this hyper aggressive drum driven like unclean John Mess centric thing. Like it switches so quickly between the two, and like it's wild, and somehow it works like really well. I think it's really cool that you get like two vastly different energies out of one song, and it's so cohesive, and it just it's really well executed. I really like it, and I do think that like maybe objectively it does bring a little more to the table than Death of a Strawberry does, even if I like that song a little bit more personally. But we do have to make a decision. We have to make a vote. So Kyle, we already know what you're voting for. Yeah. Brennan, are you going to be voting for the same song?
I mean, objectively, yeah, you do make a good argument for Son of Robot. I just feel like since DGD kind of steps out of the formula a little bit with a track and kind of changes their approach, you know, it really accents the album well, and it really accents like their music library well. So I have to go with Death of a Strawberry here.
All right. Not a blowout this time, which means I actually have to be the tiebreaker, which I don't like. Really hoping I wouldn't have to do it this time, because I am so torn on this, like more so than anything so far, because I have not been torn so far. I think both of these songs are really good in very different ways. I do think, though, as much as I love Death of a Strawberry, as much as I respect it for being a deviation from the regular formula, and as great as it sounds, I do think Son of Robot technically does offer a little bit more. And I think I'm going to have to agree with Kyle. I think I'm going to have to vote for Son of Robot. As much as it kind of pains me, I think Son of Robot does offer a little bit more and deserves to move on to the semifinals. So
fair enough.
With 2-1 votes, Son of Robot is moving on. Death of a Strawberry, unfortunately, is being left in the dust. It is the first higher seed song to lose out in a battle so far.
The first upset.
baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, and the first not blowout so far also. So very, very interesting. Things are getting kind of crazy over here. The Battle of the Bangers. And we have one preliminary match left, being Uneasy Hearts Weigh the Most versus Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise. Two absolute powerhouses of the DGD discography. And if you want to see how that fight is going to turn out, then make sure you subscribe to the Talks a Lot Boys so you'll be notified when the next episode drops, and we'll be breaking down that matchup. Also, make sure to like this video if you liked it. It really does help us out a ton. And make sure to comment below if you agree with us that Son of Robot should be moving on, or do you think that we did a big ol' fuck up and that Death of a Strawberry should have been the one taking home the W today. But that's all we got for today. We have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. See you later.